Hey everybody, it's Kelly with Inky Hands Warm Hearts. How are you guys? I'm kind of excited because I am bringing you some Valentine projects. Hearts are like my thing, so this is going to be a great video series. I am using the Sweet Conversations bundle. There's some amazing designer series paper that comes in it, and this is kind of a sneak peek because these items are not available for purchase until January 4th. The new mini catalog, which is from January to June of 2022, will be out on January 4th. I will have copies. If you do not have a demonstrator and you need a copy, please give me a comment, message me, go check my blog at Inky Hands Warm Hearts, and just give me some information. I'd be happy to put one in the mail to you. And let's go ahead and get started. We're going to make this really fun little box that I designed to fit these awesome Keebler sugar wafers. Aren't they so cool? So anyway, it's a top lidded box that just slides in there. Have a rainbow of hearts at the bottom there. And anyway, this is the box that we will be making. So let's go ahead and get started. I am going to move some of these things out of our way. We're going to be using these dies here. This one right here is the one that cuts out the label, which I've already cut out ahead of time. It's right here. So that's gets cut out of that. And then you have this really cool die right here, which cuts out this little row of these hearts, which is what I used for the rainbow. And also cuts out the hearts that go in the middle. And so here they are. I have all of those cut out. And then I'm using this one right here out of Fresh Freesia, which is a really beautiful in color of a lavender. And it's kind of a pinkish lavender, and it is getting cut out of that. So I went ahead and did the cutting so that we could move the project along and you guys can actually see the box take shape. So I'm just going to move a few things just out of the way so I can show you. We're going to start by scoring a piece of cardstock that is 6 3/4 by 9.5 inches. So you can only get one of these out of a sheet of 8.5 by 11, but that's okay because it's an awesome, pretty box, and it's a rather large set of cookies that are in here, so that's okay. So we are going to start by scoring this piece that is 9.5 this way and 6 3/4 in this direction. This is my Simply Scored tool, and we are going to go ahead and score it down the long side, which is this side, 9.5, at 1/2 inch. So let's get that one going. Okay, so 1/2 inch at 4 inches. At 5 inches. And at 8.5 inches. And then we're going to rotate it so that the short side is on the top, and as you can see, it's 6 3/4 of an inch, and this short side we're going to score at 1 inch. Okay, we're also going to score it at 5 3/4 of an inch. So those are the score marks. Hopefully you can see it in the camera there. All right, let's get the Simply Scored tool out of the way. We don't need that right now. And we are gonna go ahead and put this little box together. Now the adhesive that I've chosen to use is the multi-purpose green and white glue. The reason I've chosen it is because it is just an amazing glue. It's a really strong bonding glue, and I just love it. So we're going to use that. We are also going to be using Stampin' Dimensionals to attach the tag to the top. And also it has a fairly, you know, kind of skinny tip, which works good for those really cool hearts. So let's go ahead and get started. The first thing I'm going to do is use the bone folder here. And I'm going to burnish on all of these score marks. And when I do this, you're going to kind of see the box start to take shape, or at least it helps to visualize the box a little more. All right. Okay, so what we're going to do now is we need the box for the sides to close. This is going to be the lid. This is going to be the piece that gets tucked in. Okay, so that's the top. This is the bottom, and you see how that would slide in there like that. So we have to cut on these ends to form the sides of the box because they won't fold if they're not cut. So let's go ahead and cut. We're going to get rid of these two tabs. We won't need those. And I am using not a Stampin' Up scissor. This scissor I think is from IKEA, but the reason I'm using it is you see how thick the blades are? You need a little bit of thickness when you are cutting something like this. You can use a big scissor also. I just happen to like a little bit of a smaller scissor, so that's why I am rolling with that. But you can use a very large scissor that has long blades. So we're going to cut those tabs off. Now this is going to be the part that tucks into the box. Now we need to assemble the box. So we're going to go ahead and cut down all of these score lines to that one long score line. Okay, so we're going to cut here. We're going to cut here. And we're going to cut here. We're going to do the same thing on the opposite side. So we will go ahead and cut down the short piece down to that one long score line. All right, and when you're done, this is what you will have. I'm gonna put these right here so you can see. So those were cut off and these were cut into tabs, okay? I'm gonna move my hand so you can get a shot if you'd like to. All right, so then this is what's gonna form our box. These pieces are gonna form our sides. So they are gonna get turned in like that. And then this is gonna come up and that's gonna form that piece. And then these are the sides that are gonna get tucked in. And then the front gets tucked in. So then that's our little box, just like that, okay? So I'm gonna show you this one. You can see that I've trimmed these sides, I've angle cut them to make them slide in, and I've also trimmed them down. They're not quite as wide. So I've just trimmed a little bit off of them. The reason I did that is it just helps to fit it a lot easier. So we're gonna go ahead and start by angle cutting these pieces first. Let me move my completed one out of the way. So we're gonna angle cut these. And now these are the sides that are gonna stay full size. But the next set is going to be the ones that we are going to trim down. So let's trim them first. So I'm going to just trim just a small amount. about that much. Let's flip it over and do it again. I'm right-handed, so it's easier if I do it on this side here. All right, so there's my two pieces. They don't have to be identical. We're just eyeballing, and they're just gonna be tucked in. No one's gonna really know. So now we can go ahead and trim these edges. So we're gonna angle those. Okay. Now, one thing at this bottom section of the box, we need a place so that when this tucks in, we can grab it. And if there's nothing there to help, we're not going to be able to do that. So we are going to use a retired 1/2-inch circle punch. Stampin' Up! No longer sells circle punches, but I'm sure that you guys have a circle punch lying around. If not, Amazon is your best friend. And we're just going to do a little bit less than half, because half would be that much. So we're going to do a little bit less than half, and we're just going to kind of eyeball it and try and get it as centered as we can. And we're going to cut like a little divot out of there. Okay. Now, let's go ahead, and I like to run, if I see any spots, sometimes I can see little spots from pressing too hard. And I love to have a nice eraser that will remove those. Okay, so let's go ahead and glue our box together. But first, on this piece here, we are going to attach our designer series paper. So this is one of the pieces from the collection. It is one of the cutest little DSPs. I really, really like it a lot. And let me get you the name of it. It is called Sweet Talk. And there are some really great prints. You're gonna get to see a lot of them because I will be doing plenty of videos with this little set. So let's go ahead and put some adhesive on the second side here. I hate to almost cover up, but you know, sometimes you got to, right? All right, so just put enough, and then we're going to go ahead and attach this onto what will be the lid, and we want to leave about Now on my original box I put paper on the side, but I didn't really like it. So I'm not going to be doing it on this box. I just think the top needs to be the focal. And then down here on the bottom, you're going to have the little hearts attached. So we're going to go ahead and do that as well. So for that, I'm going to grab my silicone mat. It's just something I like to use when I have a small surface that I'm putting adhesive on, just so that I don't make a mess in case the glue comes out a little too fast. I'm just gonna do some dots in certain spots where I think the glue will need it, where this piece will need it. Okay, and let me use the tip, and we're going to rub that along these pieces. Those little dots, are kind of moving them around to just add that adhesive around the edges without actually adding any more glue. I'm just using the side of this tip to deposit that glue. All right, so that's what I've done there. So let's go ahead and attach this. This is the bottom. We're gonna go ahead and kind of place that there. That looks pretty good. Let me move it a little bit more this way. That's another reason I like to use this adhesive, because it gives you that little bit of wiggle room that you're looking for. All right, now the hearts that go inside of this, we're going to color those. So let's go ahead and finish assembling the box, and then we can add those on. So let's go ahead, and this is what we're going to do here. We're going to put adhesive on these tabs. So I'm just going to we'll do this side first. And we're going to turn that in. Like so. Let's do this one. I love it. All right, make sure that that's nice and square. And then we're going to do the same on the other side. This adhesive's almost at the end, and it is just loving to flow. It's coming out without me even telling it to. That means it's almost finished. I have to actually turn it this way and see if I can get it to flow back down, but we're gonna go ahead and do the sides here. We'll tuck this last one in. Great. That looks good to me. What about you guys? You think that looks okay? And then we're gonna go ahead and tuck this in here. Now let me grab our sugar wafers. I bought a few of those, so I should have another one. Here we go. So we're gonna go ahead and take these and press them this way so that they do not hinder the sides of the box going in here. So we're gonna put that one in like that, and just make sure that this one goes in facing down, because when we place those sides in, we don't want that to interfere. So there's our little sugar wafer, and we're gonna go ahead and tuck these pieces in here. That's good. And get the front. Make sure that it slides in there. Oops, I pushed it in too far. Let's see if I can pull it out. There we go. I'm gonna angle cut these to make it a little bit easier as well. I didn't do that, but we're gonna do that. I did that on the other box. I just forgot to do it on this one when we were cutting them. All right, so there's that. That will help. And then we can slide that in there. There we go, no problem now. Perfect, nice. All right, so there's our box. So now we're gonna decorate the outside. Let's bring the original one back in here. Okay, so here it is. Let's put its little pieces in there. Okay, so we're gonna do this cute tag, this little banner. We have to put a bow, and then of course we have to work on this part. All right, so let me grab a scrap piece of paper, which I like to cut up paper and use it when I need it. Any of my flyers, things like that, I like to use that as my scrap paper. So we're gonna go ahead and bring this tag out here, and we are going to stamp it in Pool Party with this really cute heart. Now this is a distinct stamp set, so it's not going to give a full solid impression. It's going to have a little bit of variation, which I think is perfect. And there we go. And then let's go ahead and stamp in Highland Heather that heart's in Pool Party. And in Highland Heather, we're going to do the words. So let's bring that down where I can see what I'm doing. I'm just putting them right over the heart there. Oh, all right, let's give it another chance. Let's try the other side. Now die cuts do kind of have a right and a wrong side because there's like divots in the paper, but if you use your bone folder when you make a mistake like this and run it over the edges, that doesn't become a problem anymore. So let's bring the Pool Party back out. We're gonna ink that back up, and we're gonna put our little heart right there. All right, let's try again with the words, and hopefully this time we will ink enough. Make sure that I have the ink down there properly. I'm gonna rotate it. Maybe my ink pad might need a little re-inking, I'm not sure. But we're gonna go ahead, I'm gonna stand up this time because I wanna make sure that I'm over the top of it really well. And we will press. And, oh, much better. Second time was much better. All right, so we have our tag ready. Now we have to stamp our banner. There it is, and that was die cut out. We're gonna also ink that in this really cool Highland Heather, and it's also a variegated stripe, just like that. So we're gonna put this near this piece here, like so, and there we go. All right, that's all the stamping. Now we're gonna do some coloring. We're gonna color these really cute, like really cute hearts that fill in right in that hole there. So let's leave that up because we're gonna glue them in. I'm gonna move this over here so you guys can still see it, and I'm gonna go ahead and clean these stamps very quickly. Now this is called a chamois, and it is a really fast and awesome way to clean your stamps. So I highly recommend it. Love, love, love it. Okay. So we have these pieces just waiting with our ribbon. We'll put that right here. We'll put that together in a minute. We're gonna color our hearts. So let's start with our first one. And this one is going to be our Flirty Flamingo. And I'm using the blends, and all of them I'll read off as I do them so that you can see. And we're going to color them like that. So let's bring the little hearts up that we will be using one at a time. They're so small. All right, so the first one's going to be with the light Flirty Flamingo, and I'm actually going to use the brush tip. They color really quickly. I love that. So we're just going to go over the top like that, and I'm going to give it a little darker on this side, like that. So that's that one. Our next one is dark Petal Pink, and I'm also going to use the brush tip, so let's move that one over and grab our next one. And this time I'm going to put the dark section on the left side, so I will add just a little extra on that side. Now you see why I needed this little scrap paper. So there's that one. So that is Petal Pink. The next one is Light So Saffron for our yellow heart. And this one, we'll see where it decides to be darker and lighter. And we'll just roll with that. All right, so there is Light So Saffron. We're making our rainbow of hearts. Our next one is Light Granny Apple Green. And now when you do buy the blends, you get a light and a dark. Both of them come in the package. So you get both colors, the light and the dark, which is nice because that way you have a few options, right? So there is our Granny Apple Green heart. And then we're going to do Pool Party, and I'm using Dark Pool Party. And the way to figure out which ones you want to use is just take a scrap piece of cardstock, the color that you're going to be using to color on. This is basic white. And just run it over the top and decide if you prefer to have the light or the dark of that color of blend. That's really the best way to do it. Okay, and the last one is Highland Heather Light. And that's really how I did it. I just played with them and did some testing to see how light or dark they were and what I wanted out of them, and ended up with the colors that I've chosen. So this one is the light Highland Heather. All right, so now we're gonna go ahead and glue those into those spots there. So I'm just gonna put a dot of adhesive here. Now that I've turned it the other way, it has run and it is not as leaky. It was really running out of there. So I will fill in those pieces, and I'm actually going to use a tweezer. Now Stampin' Up! Doesn't sell a tweezer, but I really like them because when you're using small things, it just, I don't know, they just work. So there's that one. That was the Flirty Flamingo, and here is the Petal Pink and So Saffron. And then we have Green Apple Green, and Pool Party, and a Highland Heather. And there are our little rainbow hearts. I think they're so cute, don't you? I love them. All right, so now let's decorate the top. As you can see on this one, we have our little banner piece is attached like so onto our little tag. So let's go ahead and put some adhesive on here. And then we're going to use some Stampin' Dimensionals. So let's go ahead and get that on there. Perfect. We're going to use dimensionals to pop this up. So we'll flip it over. And that's where you can see the boo-boo, but no one's going to see it because no one will see the back. All right, that looks pretty good to me. So I'm going to use my Take Your Pick tool. It's my favorite kind of little tool to pull the backs off of the Stampin' Dimensionals. I also use it when I put embellishments on things as well, but this time I'm just using that. All right, so now we can go ahead and attach this on to our box. Now, the bow on this one, I tied it through the hole, but I didn't really like the results. So this time I'm just going to tie a bow by making 2 bunny ears, crossing them over, and putting the one on top through the hole to the back. Then I'm going to let this little foot go and pull. And then I will just pull on the legs until I get it the exact size and tightness that I want by pulling on it a little bit at a time. All right, that looks good to me. And now because I haven't tied it through there, I'm going to have to use adhesive. And my favorite adhesive to use when I'm doing ribbon and things like this is glue dots, and they're here. I don't know if you can see it, but it is there, and I'm gonna stick it to the back of the knot. Really grab that. And this is another use for the Take Your Pick tool. So now that I have it on there, I'm gonna pull that off. Whoops. Let's try again. We're gonna pull it off and stick it to the Take Your Pick tool, and then we can use that to press it into place right over that little knot there. Little knot into that hole, just like that. Now I have to trim my ribbon. So let me grab my paper snips that I have for ribbon. I have them designated for ribbon. I have a little tag, little charm that hangs off of them, and that way I know that I use those for ribbon. And I'm going to go ahead and just trim these little feet here off, legs off of my ribbon. And we'll do the other side. And the reason I designate one for ribbon is that paper dulls scissors. And so I have one that I use just for paper, and then I have one that I use for the ribbon, and that way they don't get as dull as quickly. And then that keeps my stuff in a pretty decent order. So that is our box. I think it turned out super cute. What do you guys think? I love it. I hope you love it. And I am really grateful for you for watching. If you've made it this far with me, thank you so much. I'm kind of new to YouTube, so if you don't mind helping me out, like, comment, share, and subscribe. Ask your friends to subscribe too, and when you subscribe, you're going to get notifications of when I post. So to get your friends to do so, you will share the video, and you'll just click on the share button, and you can share it to Facebook, or you can share it to a text message that you want to send, or in an email. It's super easy. I really appreciate you sharing my video. And check out my blog. I'm going to put the link in the description below. I blog every single day, so there's always lots of inspiration there for you to find. I appreciate you guys watching. Thank you so much. And yeah, check out Inky Hands Warm Hearts. It's kind of my baby. I've been blogging for over a year, coming up on 2 years here soon. And I love it. So I hope that you will enjoy that as well. Again, I will link it in the description below. And thank you so much for watching. I appreciate it. This is Kelly with Inky Hands Warm Hearts. Happy stamping!